Have you ever wondered how you would react in extreme circumstances? Could you imagine risking your own life so that others can survive? That was the choice many faced in Rwanda in 1994 when hardline Hutus set out to kill any Tutsis they could find. Here's one man's remarkable story. In the heart of the capital city of Rwanda stands an orphanage. Children fill the playground. Laughter fills the air. These boys and girls are the responsibility of this extraordinary man, orphanage director Demas Gisimba. It's a job that he has never taken lightly, and one that was never more dangerous than 14 years ago when genocide swept this nation. In 1994, ethnic Hutu militia armed with machetes, clubs and spears took over the streets of Rwanda, slaughtering minority Tutsis. Hutus like Gisimba himself were faced with an unimaginable choice: join the mobs or dare to protect their countrymen, even if it meant risking their own lives. Gisimba made his decision. He would defend the children, many now targets of Hutus on the hunt.
I knew the children were going to be so afraid. I tried to calm them down, telling them not to be afraid, that God will protect us. I told them to be careful and stay close.
He watched as most non-Rwandans pulled out of the country, including most United Nations peacekeeping troops. Tutsi children, many now orphans themselves, others with their mothers, began flooding into his orphanage, seeking sanctuary. Many Tutsi men soon followed. Gisimba says his was a refuge for all the vulnerable, no matter their ethnicity.
I see all the people in my own image. They have the same blood that I have. They can suffer as I can suffer. If we had to die, it was necessary for us to die together.
As news of this haven spread, within weeks the number of people in the orphanage swelled to some 400.
There were so many people. We would put them everywhere. 5 to 6 children were put on one mattress. People couldn't breathe.
But they could not be allowed out. Hutu attackers came to the orphanage every single day. Most times they demanded payment.
In the beginning, they wanted to take vehicles and items. I would give them things like money and food, and they would go.
But they came back, and conditions at the orphanage got more difficult.
This is where we put most of the women and girls. The women the militia were searching for, we hid them under the beds. We hid them, pretending they had already been killed. For the men, I hid them in the ceiling. I would stand here, and they would get on each other's shoulders. I would help the last one to get up.
Still, other Tutsis hid here, in this bathroom in the orphanage's infirmary, just a few feet away from their would-be killers, many whom came here when injured.
We put a big cupboard so they wouldn't know there were doors back here. And we would open the cupboard and they would see the medicines inside.
Squeezed in the bathroom for some 12 hours a day, many of the Tutsis inside could barely walk, their muscles cramping and deteriorating. The terror was constant.
Those inside would listen as the militia would talk, saying that they were going to kill all the Tutsis. They lived in torture.
And one Tutsi living in a kind of torture in the orphanage was Josine Madadu, who was 15 during the genocide. It was here, she says, that Gasimba saved her life.
The little children were trying to cover me, but the attackers were right by my bed. Masks were covering their faces, except their eyes. They saw me while I was hiding. They found me, and it was too late for me.
They began taking her away until Gasimba confronted them.
The militiamen were taking you away, and then I took you from them here.
Took her back by bravely challenging the killers, somehow convincing them, this time, to spare her. But such daring could save only so many for only so long. And this was not the only threat. Water and food supplies were rapidly dwindling. Thanks to the courage of another man, American relief worker Carl Wilkins, some goods were sneaked into the orphanage, but time was running out. With little left to bribe the marauding militia and word spreading that Gasimba was hiding many Tutsis, the militia prepared to attack.
The most difficult moment was when this man came and told me they knew I was hiding people and that they were coming to kill me and slaughter the others.
Gasimba, once again risking his life, left to seek help, but was forced into hiding. And just when it seemed all hope was lost, Carl Wilkins appeared and saw the unthinkable. Some 50 militiamen swarming outside the orphanage. Gasimba's younger brother pleaded with him.
The young brother said, "No, don't go. They're going to kill us as soon as you leave." And I said to him, I promised him. I promised them I'll come back.
With the clock ticking, Wilkins found help. And on July the 1st, 1994, a group of Rwandan police arrived at the orphanage, loaded the hidden onto buses and raced them to safety in a church in the city center. There they found Gasimba, and there they remained until the Tutsi-led Rwandan Patriotic Front seized back control of the country days later. By then, some 800,000 Rwandans had been massacred. All but 8 of the people Gasimba hid were saved. Today, Damas Gasimba and his staff are still raising children at the orphanage. He's not a wealthy man, but he says that he has a gift that is priceless, the opportunity to see the lives of those he saved unfold.
We are their parents. We're so happy because we have several who've been married and have their own children. We now have our own grandchildren.
Gasimba has been asked to share his story with others. Here he is at the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum in Washington, D.C. He's hoping his experience inspires others.
I think that in order not to abandon someone like yourself, someone in trouble, you must, above all, have love. And we must teach our children only good.